You are tuned to Cafe Cabaret. We now begin our series of open mics, which will run through October.
Well, they just took a woman to the ambulance, cut herself, some dishes. So we hope she gets better on this Halloween. So, Francis, did you turn this light in? No. What? They're on. Oh, they are? Okay. Testing. Yeah, blow your horn some more there, buddy. Check.
This guy toys. Man with toys. They always Alright. Turn this up a little bit more. No, put a little reverb in there. Well, I changed my mind. I like this. Okay, this is good enough. I think. Well, thanks for all coming down. This is going to be a real short show because Billy Ruane, our hero, they're going to have these, there's going to be 2 other bands that are going to play. 5 other bands. Slaughter Shack, Witch Doctor, Tom Baran, Moran. And I don't know the other 2. You should know the other 2. But we're all gonna get videotaped, so man, we should be real psyched, man. TV election this year too, you know? TV election. What do you think of that, man? Hitler to TV, man, I don't know. Weird, pretty scary stuff. You gotta have cash. He's gonna come up next. I keep forgetting your name because I...
Oh, Jim. Infartono.
Jim.
Infantino.
Jim Infantino. Ha 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 ha. Happy Halloween.
Turn them off. Oh, you did? I don't know what I did. Hey, Jeff, can I do my 2 minutes thing? Sure, Francis. You can do whatever you want, buddy. In 2 minutes, nigga. You can go for it. Just
Thank you.
plug you in someday.
This is the improvisatory segment of the show. Not that everything that we do up here is improvised in some way or another. And the idea behind this ritual exercise is one of you picks an occupation and another one of you picks a geographical location in the United States, and I write a Studs Terkel mini biography. So do we have an occupation?
Liver extractor.
Okay, and...
Chiropractor!
Let's see, he breaks veal calves' backs. Well, what location?
Detroit.
A gynecologist in Detroit. That sounds pretty promising. It's like Nome, Alaska. Great. Well, let's see. That would be more challenging. Maybe a gynecologist transferred from Detroit to Nome, Alaska. Well, shit. I get sick and tired of examining all them oozy, runny, separating, pus-filled sores down in Detroit, so I finally made the big move to Nome, Alaska. But there's a whole other set of problems. My fingers get damn cold, every day. And you know, I'm the only black dude here. Well, what's the thing? What am I supposed to do? Go out with the Eskimo chicks or something, man? I don't know. I'm really missing out. I don't know why I ever decided to come up to Nome, Alaska, except, well, I got a little scrape back in Detroit.
Is that a pun?
Treated somebody. I used my own special treatment. I call it Dr. Love's treatment, and they ran me out of town. So I was stuck in a stinking, miserable iceberg at the tip of the Earth's surface. Listen, they think those whales got troubles. Those stinking whales, I tell you, they got more paddles than you and me do. I'll say that. I mean, they got helicopters, they got icebreakers, they got everything. They're trying to rescue them. And who's rescuing us, man? Especially gynecologists who have to go to Nome, Alaska because they got in a little trouble with an underage teenage girl. Jeez. I don't know. Smile when you say that. Anyway, thanks, Studs. And I don't talk much like a black guy, but I've been living up here with the fucking gray cat so long, you know, my brain center's frozen along with everything else. So anyway, thanks, Studs.
Hi. My name is Jim Infantino. Is my guitar loud enough? You heard this before, but I'm doing it for videotape because I want to be just like George Michael. Guess not. Well, I think it would be nice if I could touch your money. I know not every honey has got money like you. Ooh, but I gotta think twice before I take it all away. And I know your every hideaway, cause I'm sticking with you. Ooh, I need some of that liquid acid. I need more and more and more and more and more and more. Ooh, baby, I'll take it all to Narragansett. After I take my 6-gun and I drop you to the floor. Cause I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. Baby, I make you think I want your body, but that's not the real story. I'm not telling you the truth. Baby, I gotta have all your money, and it's really kind of funny. I'm gonna take all that I can from you. Well, I tried to charge and I tried to borrow, and I use up all the credit that I get. Ooh, baby, I like to spend it like there's no tomorrow. Baby, I don't need your Visa, don't need your American Express. I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. Take it. I bought a brand new 44. I'm low, rolling down your door. You say I'm giving you the blues, baby. You aren't asking me to stay. Say, baby, please, please go away. And I want to liquidate your 100 shoes. Will need some of that liquid acid. I need more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Ooh, baby, I'll take it all to Narragansett. After I take my 6-gun and I drop you to the floor, 'cause I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. I gotta have cash, cash, cash. I want your cash. I want your dough. I want your cash. I want your cash. Thank you. I like that solo, huh? Me and Eddie Van Halen. This is a song I wrote recently. It's kind of mellow, put y'all to sleep. But you know, they had a bill in Congress about you had to wait 7 days to get a handgun or something like that. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, they did. They had it, you know, I figured, you know, they'd run a check on you, like a credit check or something, see if you could buy a handgun, to see if you hadn't been in jail or something like that. And it got voted down, thank God. Because when I want a handgun, I gotta have it right away. It's alright to have a slingshot, hey, that's okay. It's alright to have a bow and arrow, that's the American way. It's alright to have a bowie knife, yeah, that's okay. Take it out in the woods at night and show your friends, that's the American way, that's the American way. It's alright to have a BB gun, yeah, that's okay. It's alright to have a hunting rifle, that's the American way. Shoot more than you can eat, well, that's okay. Strap it on the front of your car, drive around the block a couple of times and throw it out, that's the American way, that's the American way. It's alright to have a handgun, yeah, that's okay. You need it for protection, that's the American way. It's a new song, you know. Okay, well, it's alright to have dynamite. Go ahead on a grenade. Little bang here, little boom there. That's how the West was made. It's alright to have a submachine gun. Yeah, that's okay. When those bad guys come around your house, you gotta blow
throw them away. That's the American way. Hey, hey, that's the American way.
Need something a little heavier? Well, that's okay. You can own your very own bomb. That's the American way. 10, 20, 40 megatons. Yeah, that's okay. Set them all in the backyard, invite your friends.
That's the American way. That's the American way. Hey, that's the American way. Hey, hey, that's the American way. Hey, hey, that's the American way. Hey,
Right now I'm turning the stage over to a very good friend of mine, good pal, my buddy Stevie. Stevie, everybody.
Okay. How many more people are going to play? One? Okay. I'm going to read poetry.
All right. That's what we needed.
Putting me on after that guy is kind of like putting Joy Division on.
Anyway. Let's see. Which one should I start? This one's short and to the point. It's called The Fall of a Stalactite. Stalactite, you fell. You were a point in the cavern for so long, growing and drying deeper with the years. Then you fell. Did the earth move to jar you loose? Or were you just tired of hanging up there? You needed to come down. Now you are not a point. Let's see. This one's called Simple. Nothing is simple. Simple is a great many minute clattering insect legs scaling about on my body. Simple cannot be anything I please. Simple must be a continuous, violent, and shattering car crash, or very few places to meet with a certain few individuals safely hidden from the too numerous eyes, ears, and noses trying to sense their way into the crevices that always appear on the surface of my body as it bumps and grinds and crashes its way through a great many very large and too small to be seen obstacles impelled, hopefully, necessarily, and simply into future car crashes or secret meeting places. This one's a little bit lighter. This one's called Skinning Your Cat. And the anti-vivisectionists and cat lovers give it a chance before you skin me. There's more than one reason to skin your cat. The first is that they get old and worn out. Another is that they tend to smell bad after a while. Also, you may have noticed they are happy and lustful too often.
Your cat should be skinned frequently enough to allow for a good time, but not so often that you hurt him. All in all, cats are truly remarkable creatures. Have you ever skinned one that didn't put up quite a fight over it? I haven't. Technique is another important point of attention. Many use a knife, but I don't know. What may be quick and easy, it's so messy and cleanup afterwards is a drag. I found that a constant rubbing, friction, it's best to use just your bare hands. Causes the hide to just kind of split and fall off after a while. It's a lot of hard work. It requires patience and persistence, but generally you come out of it with a clean, whole pelt. After you've skinned your cat, be sure to hang the hide out to dry right away. Brush it out. Let the fur flop off in the fresh air and sunshine. There's nothing worse than a cat pelt left to rot. As you go, stitch the little furs together until you've got one great big one. Big enough to swaddle you head to toe. Then stretch yourself down your favorite street, wearing it for all to see. You'll be your cat's meow. What do we want? We want sentimental? Do we want
One more.
angry?
One more group.
Angry.
All right. Oh shit. I had one I wanted to try out. I'll leave that. Let's see. I'll go with the sentimental ones and one I like the best anyway. It's a little unique in style, different from the other ones I read. It's called Me the Met I Never Quite. I got it off of listening to some reggae beat poetry, get some rhythm from that. Me the Met I Never Quite. Never met the like I knew, she said. I met, I never. Met, condenses, dewy, painted. Not quite, I met the condensation point. I met, I lost. I met, I found. I met, I knew the point. Cool it is, wet it is, enough to make the point it is. I met, I never, anyone enough, the pointed condensation dewy, dropping slow, slow, slow. Me the met I. You the met I said. You the met I never said. Love making. A drop, dewy, cool enough, condenses to wet, wet, wet. I met I never, never, never. Me the met I? Met me I, the you, dewy, love making? She said, I've never met anyone quite like you. I thought, maybe it's cool enough, like the condensation point at which dewdrops form for love-making with you. Thanks.
Now that I've mellowed everyone out.
I'll ask you that every time, Mark. I like a nice warm welcome for my, well, who I think is a very funny person. Warren.
This guy, he's a nut. I'm not kidding. I mean, this guy, whoo, get out of here. Okay, I've been thinking a lot about the Cajun spice chips, and I really decided that when these potato chips came out, because they were becoming the Ruffles bag, so they're by Frito-Lay, I think the guys in like the Doritos laboratory got really angry because, I mean, I think all hell broke loose in the Doritos laboratory. Oh, did you see this? It's Cajun chips. They've come out with Cajun chips. All right. Speed up the project on the meatloaf chip. Let's see. Let me talk to the Indian for the Indian chip. Yeah. What's that Indian chip again? Oh yeah, that's turquoise with pieces of dirt. Yeah, we got to speed that one up right away. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about Cajun chips. So, I guess that I should let you all know that I'm from an evangelical family, which means I'm from Arkansas, which means I'm from the Deep South, which means you probably can't understand a word I'm saying. So, huh? Who? Huh? So, I mean, if I raise my hands in the air like this and, you know, start talking about Proverbs, don't even worry. I'm just getting Jesus. So don't worry. Hey, what are y'all staring at, huh? Look, I know it's big. I know it's big. I can't help it. I've got a really big forehead, all right? So just leave me alone. It's a huge forehead. Okay. I've got such a big forehead. This is my impression of Jack Nicholson at Walt Disney World. Get these fucking ears off me. Where's Epcot Center? I'm so unhappy I could drop a log. Okay. I've decided that the only way, I really, because I'm from the South and no one can understand me. What? Because I'm from the South and no one can understand me, I've decided that I can't get any dates because I've got this big forehead. And the only way to do it, I've decided, is to just act like a trapped whale. So I've often doing that on subway trains now. Just sort of, I'm trapped, help me. I'm trapped, help me. Get an ice barge. See, no one usually, it's not working. So I guess my dating methods are sort of, rats. Darn, another great idea. Shoot. So, I guess everyone's clamoring to hear the story about how my father, well, okay, I'm going to tell the story. My father was a big man who chain smoked a lot, which sort of set me on edge when I was a younger kid. But this one time, he was big into golf, and he was out golfing on this green, and my name is Werner, my brother's name is Lamar, and go figure that name arrangement, huh? That's the, Werner sounds like, you know, some sort of German, I think it's German for I've killed the chauffeurs, and Lamar sounds like some sort of, you know, sharecropper, but he's not. He was my brother, and we were both 10 years old. And we were out watching my dad putt on the golf course, and we had our little dog with us, a little dog, black terrier called Cassie. Unfortunately, my father named all of our dogs, and all of them had really stupid names. I mean, like, and all of them were Cassie and Maisie and Lazy and Hazy, and they all just sort of, you know, they all eventually sort of disappeared. We wondered what happened to them, because, like, we would get dogs and they would come into the house and then they would leave after 6 months. And I figured out it was just because of the stupid names, because, I mean, after you realize your name's Cassie, what the hell do you want to stay around for? I mean, you might as well just go out and try to find a Chevrolet and, you know, take care of you. So we were out there watching my dad putt, and he's getting really pissed off at this dog, which was Cassie. And he's warning Cassie, and he does it, you know, a couple of times. And so he warns Cassie, and the dog's like running over and grabbing the ball before it gets into the hole. And then, so my dad's warning the dog, and Lamar and Werner are out watching him. And so he warns the dog again, and he's got his putter, and he's making a long putt. The ball's about to go in the hole. He takes the putter, and he gently throws it towards the dog. And as fate would have it, the putter just got poor little Cassie right on the back of the head, and the dog flipped over and died. It's not funny. I don't know what, so, you know, I mean, my dad doing things that dads do, picked up the dog and ran into the house for the fastest burial in the world. My brother and I sort of stared at each other because we were dumb and young and had stupid names. And by the time we got back in the house, Dad had already buried the dog and replaced it with another dog named Maisie. You know, it's the fastest burial in the world. So, that's all I have to say. And, I'm just scared as hell up here with all this stuff. Who do I introduce now?
Kevin.
My
World's tallest guitar player.
Kevin, what a tower of strength. A tower of power. Here we go.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Come on up here.
I have to raise this for you, though. You want to sit down instead?
Work for me.
Kevin Hall. Why don't you, you can like, why don't you sit down? He's too tall. Stand up on a stool or something. Yeah, stand up on a stool. Yeah, you do that. So, hey, Kristen. Oh, you got your room? Yeah, just. Find a hole. Does it work? I can't tell. No? Use the other one.
I'll sing loud, I guess.
Yeah, sing loud.
Use the other mic. Are you going to sing too, Kevin?
We're gonna both sing.
All right.
Kevin's a little singing kind of thing.
There, he's got it.
Number 3.
3.
This is Kevin and Paul doing a few songs for your delight and edification.
on down, sweet Virginia. Come on, honey child, I beg of you. Come on down to my area. Oh, got you straight to shoot right off your shoes. Come on down, sweet Virginia. Come on, honey child, I beg of you. Come on down, sweet Virginia. Oh. Got you straight to shoot right off your shoes. Thank you. Check.
Yeah, right. It's still a good run. Make the head go back and forth, right?
Come take these bags off me. I can't wear it anymore. on in the store. Knock, knock, knocking on in the door. Feels like I'm knocking on in the door. Come wipe these tears off of me. I don't want to shed them anymore. My eyes are swollen, can't hardly see. Feels like I'm knocking on in the door. Knock, knock, knocking on in the door. Knock, knock, knocking on in the door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Alright. Next I got Bob come up here. We'll run short so everyone's doing five minutes.
No more homie.
Hey, Fred, can you get the drone vocal right here? Get number one. Make a weird sack, you know, the sack where we,
So what's happening, Billy?
What? Yeah.
I just have something to show.
Ready?
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, they have pretensions.
Whoa.
They have pretensions. I shoot fire sales like this. I use potential. It's a really big afterwards. Immaterial. I had enough fun.
Sounds a little louder, Bob. Next, we have Francis. No. Now you tell me. Okay, who is this friend of ours? All right, Joe. It's the magnificent Joe, whose exploits you followed here in the past few weeks, and you're sure to see him here in weeks to come. Joe.
Hello.
Francis DiMenno. Boy, I'll tell you, the small town I came from, it sure was small. How small was it, you might want to know? Let me tell you about the amusement park we had. It was a small amusement park, all right? The boat ride was a ditch. It doubled as a hog trot during the off-season, you know. Here you always see these watermelons flying through rinds floating by your raft. The Ferris wheel was so small that it was powered by a large, sweating St. Bernard dog. And, well, the roller coaster ran on roller skates. What more can I say except to add that they were too cheap to hire a full-time clown, so the owner put a lampshade over his head. You know, I'd like to have a job that I get paid to sign my name. I think of all the employment prospects which stretch before me like an endless vista, because, you know, in America, a young man with talent, tact, determination can do anything and go anywhere. Of all the jobs that I could have. I think I'd like to have the job of signing my own name. I mean, Ronald Reagan has the job now, but maybe in a few years I could get it. I don't know. The thing is, what would your, would you get unemployment benefits every time you got writer's cramp? I'm sorry, boss, can't come into work today. You know, my uncle, when I was about 18, my uncle, John, oh God, I can't even keep them all straight. I believe it was my Uncle John, but it might have been my Uncle Jim, possibly it was my Uncle Joe. I think it was my Uncle Joe. He gave me this book. I was at his capacious library. The most up-to-date volume was the Gulag Archipelago, Part 1. And he said, I'd like you to read this book, nephew, because it's really changed the whole character of my life. I took a look at it. It was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Well, I took my uncle's sage advice and I read it. And it really changed my life. In fact, it changed my life for an entire week. Then I went back to bullying and intimidation, just for a change of pace. I have a friend who works for this magazine, or used to, called California Farmer. He got fired because he wouldn't say that it was okay to, you know, bust unions down at Cesar Chavez's United Farm Workers. Well, that's all beside the point. But he said that the two favorite foods of cockroaches are beer and dog food, which is probably why one reason they get to outlast us and stay alert. Well, you know, I take my beer cans back to the deposit storage area, and the woman, she does a triple take. She says, I ain't taking these. There's roaches in them. Well, what do they do? Get them out of here! You know, people are really scared of roaches. They don't like to see them. They don't like to even think about them. But, you know, roaches aren't all bad. Just the other day I saw this really nice roach. He was so nice that he was visiting all of his down-and-out silverfish friends. He brought a paper bag with a grease spot on it, you know, it sounded his goodwill. You ever hear how they're always talking about senseless violence? But think for a second, what's the alternative? Sensible violence? Don't be no, we gonna just kill 10 people. I don't know, I was wondering about this. What is a day in the life of a rat like? You know, rats, those vermin which aren't mice. I guess they're the male versions of mice, and mice are female rats and vice versa. Who knows? Anyway, day in the life of a rat. Oh, these fleas are killing me. Guess I'll go out and spread some bubonic plague. Punches the top. I had a marketing scheme. You know, this thing about crack, the highly addictive and smokable form of cocaine. I was thinking if they ever did market it on a mass scale, they might even have a diverting little jingle to distract you from the fact that it makes people go insane. Like, I don't know, Applejack crack, a jack a day keeps the bullies away, keeps everybody away. I was thinking also about Halloween. You know, what could be more perfect than to combine crack with Halloween? And you could have a crack-o'-lantern, which has no nose, of course. It would run into your front room and set fire to your house with a candle in its head, you know, the whole time smoking crack, of course. They asked Bush the Gary Hart question finally. You know what the Gary Hart question is? Have you ever committed adultery? And you know, have you ever had any extramarital affairs, Vice President Bush? Hey, I haven't even had an affair with my wife, you know. You know, I like to tell a diverting little story. Originally it was a Scottish man, right? But let's change it to George Bush just for fun. George Bush gets onto a trolley, and the trolley conductor, who here represents Congress, asks him for 10 cents to go towards social programs for the needy. George, who has a valise stuffed to the rim with money, refuses to give 10 cents, and he goes to the middle of the trolley. And then the conductor becomes incensed, and he goes to the middle of the trolley and starts wrestling with George Bush, demanding the 10 cents for social programs. And in the melee, the valise, which was in George Bush's hands, gets thrown out the window and lands in a river. And George says, "You scoundrel! There goes my Pentagon defense appropriations." Anyway, wow, that's a great way to end the show. Anyway, if I can think of something clever and witty and diverting, I would, but I can't. So anyway, God bless you all, and thank you very much. It's fallen upon me to introduce the next comic. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, though, a little bit of rhetoric. This year we have a choice between a dark horse and a horse's ass. Between a man who says he wouldn't holler boo if his wife were raped, and a man who says, let him eat pork rinds. Between a man who wants to borrow credibility with rhetoric and one who wants to buy it with bombs. Between a party which tells us the party's over and a party which never parties at all. It's like a mechanical snuffling mole versus a man whose forehead resembles a dead, incandescent bulb, which casts a similar amount of light. Or, to borrow a scrap from Captain Beefheart's notebook, a choice between a man with a porcupine hat and an atomic whoopee cushion. Anyway, I'd like to introduce the next comic. It's John Meeks, and he's making his stage premiere at the Middle East. But it's not a stage premiere, but it's a premiere here at the Middle East. So give them all a nice round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it has been actually it's been a while since I've been on stage, so I'm thanking you for your patience in advance. I don't expect to be funny tonight because lately my life has sucked. So I don't feel that funny. And I have some notes in my back pocket. I may refer to them from time to time too. Yeah, mostly my I think what happens is you get expectations, and when you get expectations, you get disappointments. You get disappointed. Right, Governor? I don't know if any of you have seen him on TV lately. I watched him last night with Ted Koppel, and I wish he'd ask him a more human type of question, like, well, Governor, now that you're grandfather, what type of grandfather will you be? I imagine his answer would have been something like this. Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be the kind of grandfather that would call his grandson the little brown one. I wouldn't be the kind of grandfather that would let the homeless not have homes and the hungry go without food. I wouldn't be that kind of grandfather. And I wouldn't be the kind of grandfather that would cut a deal with Manuel Noriega to bomb, to supply NX missiles to the Ayatollah. I wouldn't be that kind of grandfather. And Ted would be there. That's a good answer. Yeah. I don't know. Expectations, I guess that's part of what I said life sucked lately. It's been kind of tough on me. I'm going through a breakup with, and it's this point where it's painful. And a friend said, John, don't worry about it. Time heals all. So I bought 20 clocks. And, but I guess the way I'm trying to be optimistic and look at it, every ending's a beginning. Now every woman I see, I think she could be the next one to bring me ultimate grief. Yeah. Relationships are weird. I went out with this one woman once for 3 months, and then we proceeded to break up over the next 2.5 years. I don't know if you've ever been this route before, but it's like, I never want to see you again. 2 weeks later, hello? Hello? How are you? Fine. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm lonely. Yeah? And horny. All right, I'll be right over. But only this one time. Yeah, one time, 2 years later. I don't know. Relationships. What are you going to do, huh? And this is time where I'm going to take a peek, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah. Relationships, that goes right into my childhood. I think part of it is growing up in the household that I did. My mother, she wasn't too hip. She thought a bad fix was when you took the cat to the vets to get neutered and it still got pregnant. And she'd call us down and be like, come on kids, come on down, it's supper time. suffer with 2 F's. And I had 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And at any given time, one of us or all of us was suicidal. And it posed a problem because friends would come over and they just say normal things like, "Hey John, you want to go hang out? Can I borrow your razor?" It was jumpy. It was jumpy around there. I don't know. But after this last breakup, I went home because I think your family's your family. So I went home to visit, and I come walking in the door, and it's like, "So? Where's Sally?" I don't see her anymore. "What? Another woman?" And then it hit me. I don't have a Jewish mother. So I went next door. And I think I want to say, so I went next door, and that was it. That's as far as I want to go, except for one thing I had a thought about Halloween coming up and the election. And everyone's talking about Michael and George and what they are. Well, to me, they're kind of like when you went trick-or-treating and you came back and you had those little orange candy corns that you always saved till the end and you ate them begrudgingly. That's George Bush and Michael Dukakis to me. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce my good friend. Well, I don't know if he's my good friend enough to say, no, actually, I'm sure he doesn't hold it against me. No, Chris Chandler, who has come to us. He's a famous national performer. He's kindly assented to grace our local stage, which is bursting into seams with raw talent. And Mr. Chandler is very good at what he does, as you're shortly to find out. And so, without much further ado, I'd like to present Chris Chandler. Also to remind you that he will have the opportunity, or we will have the opportunity to watch him do a 20-minute set next week due to unfortunate schedule conflictions and the like. Mr. Chandler will do 10 to 15 minutes today, but if you want a full blast of the Chandler wit and madness, please come back next week when he'll be doing his full set. And once again, let's have a big hand for Chris Chandler.
By national, I think he meant National Connecticut. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but you guys excuse me, I'm not used to all these microphones and stuff. You see, I'm used to playing on the streets and everything where you really don't need a microphone too much. I always thought that like amping up an acoustic guitar and using a microphone was like very close in a nudist colony or something. But anyways, I've been driving around the country. I've been listening to the news a lot, and the news seems to be a constant source of ideas for songs. So I have a song for the upcoming election. Well, I've heard this little joke. It probably won't be that funny in about 4 years, but it seems that Anheuser-Busch has come up with a new product. They've come up with a new beer in honor of the vice president. It's called Busch Light. It's the same as Reagan with a fraction of the charisma. And in honor of Mr. Bush's selection for vice president, you can get it in a can, but you won't find it on draft. When he's on the campaign trails, he's gonna make this country better. You always see him sitting next to a flag factory in an Ivy League sweater. But how he's gonna make the country better, he ain't gonna tell. Of course, now my criteria for a new president is one who wear a cardigan so well. Now everybody's wondering what the reason that he picked this Quayle guy was. I think he was just looking for somebody who has less charisma than he does. I mean, have you seen that guy in a debate? Boy, he gives draft dodgers a bad name. Now, everybody thinks that he was a bad choice, and some people think he was the worst, and still more people say, make sure you shoot Quayle first. he doesn't look like one I've ever seen as he rides out to the farms wearing a John Deere cap in the back of a limousine. Yeah, he thinks the common man image will give him a more marketable look. The other day I heard he went down to his servants' quarters and shared a can of SpaghettiOs with his gardener and his cook. You see, he sold guns to the Iranians, and then they fired him at our ship, and he diverted the funds to the Contras. Now, that took a lot of wit, but I don't think you know the half of it. You see, next he's going to sell guns to these drug cartels who import all that flow and divert the funds to Nancy Reagan, who can buy television spots to just say no. So if this man's elected, let me tell you what we got to do. Head for the mountains, run for the hills. Head for the mountains and bush fear. Now, people are always saying that Bush ain't got no balls, but let me tell you this. Every now and then when he leaves the White House, Reagan will let him clip on his. He matches his tie. You know, the one with the teeny-weeny pink polka dots? Now, I don't think this guy can be president. Now, I don't think he'd know how. I mean, once he's got the highest office in the land, who's he going to say yes, yes to now? I mean, once he calls the White House his home, he's going to have to start taking up yoga classes because the only ass he could kiss is his own. So you can trust him with our freedoms, trust him with our land. Everybody knows that you can trust a CIA man. So if you like Vietnam and you thought the Contras were a lot of fun, trust me when I tell you that the Bush administration will be just as well run. Because like Iran-Contra showed us, from Reagan, Bush really learned a lot. He learned to look straight into the camera and say, golly, I forgot. So there's going to be big trouble when crisis rise anew, because Queen Nancy's astrologer won't be in the White House to tell little Georgie what to do. So if this man's elected, let me tell you what we got to do. Head for the mountains, run for the hills. Head for the mountains and bush fear. And don't come out for 4 more years. Oh God, tuning the guitar. See, I don't have enough talent to turn it up. How's that? Like I said, I don't know this technical crap. I have a song for Michael Dukakis, but it's kind of short and it doesn't really say anything. It's kind of dull, so I won't play that one. Somebody once told me that I couldn't write a love song, so I set out to prove them wrong. I met a girl. She played the saxophone. I told her I loved her. She told me to leave her alone. She played in one of those bars where men didn't come. I came anyway. I was just looking for fun. She said that she didn't like men. She said she was a lesbian. Her friends said it was cool. Some said it was mod. Some even called it avant-garde. But I didn't care. I kept hanging out. She got one of the bouncers to come kick me out. Now the bouncer was mean, a 3-day beard on the face, 6'3". Her name was Grace. But I didn't care, I couldn't take the hint, because I was completely convinced she was a closet heterosexual. I know that she really liked me. Closet heterosexual, heterophobic as can be. Closet heterosexual, I know that she really likes men. Closet heterosexual, cause being a lesbian was in. Well, I came back and they didn't recognize eyes. Me, 'cause I was wearing a disguise. The saxophone player, she had that look in her eyes. She bought me a drink, then she listened to my lies. She said she'd come home with me, I couldn't wait to get her back. See the look in her eyes when she found I was in drag. She was a closet, heterosexual. I know that she really liked me. Closet, heterosexual, heterophobic as can be. Closet, heterosexual. I know that you really like men. Closet, heterosexual. 'Cause being a lesbian was in. As I'm riding down the road recently, I picked up a hitchhiker in Philadelphia, and I was kind of tired, and I let him do some driving, so I started playing the guitar, and we swapped off some lyrics and came up with this. I was writing a new song riding down I-95 when it turned into the New Jersey Turnpike. I was feeling like a poet for my sad generation when I turned into the Walt Whitman service station. That's right, I filled up at the Walt Whitman Memorial gas pumps they own. Went over to the gift shop and I got me a Walt Whitman Memorial snow cone. But what a way to be remembered. Sure tasted good. Now most bumper stickers are too lame to repeat, but certain combinations of them will make them complete. Like, I seen a sticker on the back of a Mercedes-Benz that said parking permit Atlanta Airport, air traffic controllers, right next to a bumper sticker that says shit happens. Now, if by some fluke that song were to become a hit, like if everybody in the world that writes songs died except for me, and this song became a hit, there'd be one guy out there going, "Hey, that was my car. That guy stole my joke." Sorry, pal. But see, like, that couldn't happen. I got turned down by like 42 different record companies, and I offered them good money too. Now, you can learn a lot riding around these United States, just reading all the different license plates. Like Ohio says buckle up, and North Carolina was the first in flight. Mississippi's license plate says that it preferred to be all white. Kind of like Boston. Now, one license plate that most people don't consider is the state of Wyoming says my wife maybe, but my handgun never. But I think my very favorite license plate belongs to the New Hampshire state. It says, "Give me liberty or give me death, yes sir." You think about it, those plates were made by prisoners. Some of them on death row. Now, most people don't think that George Orwell was right with his Big Brother concept. It was just a piece of fiction and not any more in depth, but Big Brother is with us. I think you'll agree with this once you find out who he is. You see, you can move across town and not tell anybody that you're around. You can change your name and not leave a forwarding address, and that's when you'll find out who Big Brother is. Because no matter how many precautions to remain anonymous you take, you'll still receive mail from the Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. That's right, Big Brother is Ed McMahon. He'll find you before the IRS, before a credit check, before the "Have you seen this child" campaign. Now, my VW was stalled over in the parking lot. The battery was dead and would not start. So I pushed my car out from the parking lot to see if I could get it to roll start. Just as I got it down the street a little bit, I heard a voice yell out from the factory. It said, "You know, if you bought an American car, you wouldn't be pushing it." So I yelled back at the voice of the factory. I said, "Hey man, it's an American battery." See, I've been riding around this country telling people about how I feel. Been riding around the United States, living out of my automobile. I got windshield wipers in my bedroom window. I got a steering wheel in my bed. My pantry is my glove compartment. Can of sardines and a couple of slices of bread from December of '84. Phew! leather couch in my back room. That's where I usually sleep. When I have company come over, we'll sit in the front room where I got lazy boy bucket seats. I got a hot plate, it's kind of small, it's my cigarette lighter. My address is my license plate, my mailbox is underneath the windshield wipers. Now the other day I came home because I was double parked over by the newsstand. I was pleased to see that I'd gotten a letter from Ed McMahon. He found me at a newsstand in South Dakota and got the address right too. As I'm riding down the road, right, I got one of those double boom boxes. You've seen them, right? You can dupe off tapes with. I plug it into my cigarette lighter as I'm riding down the road, and I dupe off tapes. And I got a tape up here. It's for 11 songs on there, and they're real cheap. Well worth it. I'd like to sing a song about the unspoken generation. Again, for what it matters, my name is Chris Chandler, and these are all original songs. See, I don't have enough talent to play songs that other people wrote. You know, I heard about the Woodstock generation, but I read about it in a history book. And when I told my father that I don't like the Doors, the guy turned around and gave me a mean and nasty look. Yeah, I heard about the Woodstock generation and all the crazy things that went on back then. There was Monterey and Haight-Ashbury, Newport Folk, and Altamont. Hell, my history teacher told me about them. He told me about them firsthand. You know why? Because I was born in the Watergate generation, post-Kennedy's assassination. After the Beatles landed at the Kennedy Air Station, Watergate generation, Watergate generation, Watergate generation. Yeah, and I heard about that cat named James Dean. Everybody said that he was this big star up on the movie screen. But why he was such a big star, I don't think anybody really knows. Of course, now I never saw one of his shows, but I can tell you who's a big star. And that's R2-D2. And another one of them is Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Now these guys, they're an important part of my life. Just like my brand new Ronco electric butter knife. Cause I was born in the Watergate generation after Martin Luther King's fight for desegregation. You know, I just can't remember his assassination. Watergate generation, Watergate generation, Watergate generation, yeah, Watergate generation. You know, I learned how to tell time with a digital clock. Watergate generation, Watergate generation. Yeah, and I heard about all those guys out in San Francisco and all the flowers they used to wear in their hair. They made love to who they pleased while they danced around in their underwear. Disco was in when I was a teen. And I can play asteroids like you've never seen. Cause I was born in the Watergate generation. My parents were into cohabitation. They taught me to accept the Iranian-Contra connection. Watergate generation, Watergate generation, yeah, Watergate generation. The first time I could vote was for the Bush administration. Watergate generation, Watergate generation. You know, they were walking on the moon before I discovered masturbation. Watergate generation, Watergate generation, yeah, Watergate generation. Again, for what it matters, my name is Chris Chandler. Please come back next Wednesday night. I think I'm going to be doing a longer set here. I'd like to thank the Middle East and what all we went through with the way it goes. If any of you guys are interested in the tape, please let me know. All these songs are on there, and they're well worth them, easily fine. Not only that, they mean a meal at Burger King for me. Thanks a lot.
All right, well, that concludes J-Bag. Thank you all for coming.
Wow.
And we'll be back at the regular time next week. I'd like to thank Chris Jones and